Thank you, and welcome to the Agency Balance Podcast, where we talk about marketing, tech, real-life self-improvements, and the things that make you happy to find your balance. Agency Balance is sponsored by SmartAcre, a marketing technology agency that creates solutions that align B2B marketing, sales, and service to drive results throughout the entire customer journey. Get the MarTech experts. Get smartacre.com. Here is your host of the Agency Balance Podcast, David Snyder. Finding balance. Isn't that what we're all striving for? Let me share a secret. Stop trying to find the perfect balance. It's not going to happen. Hi there, and thank you so much for joining me to listen to my podcast, Agency Balance. My name is David Snyder, Dave. I'm a marketer, tech nerd, a collector of anything collectible, a Pennsylvanian who has spent the last 2 decades as an agency leader and who has found his balance. Think of all the things you do personally and professionally in a given day. Is it balanced? Should it be? Maybe some days it's all work and no play, or maybe other days it's all fun. How do you measure balance? Think of a scale. A scale measures weight. I am a Libra. My sign is a scale. Sometimes the scale tips one side to the other. And when one side is weighing on it or weighing too much to the one side, it tips and we feel off balanced. I think in our minds, we're always trying to be 50-50, right? Equal balance, whatever it is, work, play. What I've found to be the secret is do the things that make you happy every day. Whether if it's going for a walk with your dog or watching your favorite sports game, turning a wrench, being with your kids, reading a book, whatever it is. Make time for that and do it every day. Once you start to inject the things that you like more often into your schedule, your balance will change. Throughout the coming episodes, we'll dig into this. But first, I wanted to share a little bit about me. When I got the idea of starting a podcast, I was like, what the heck am I going to talk about? I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a CEO. In that order. I said, well, I'll talk about those things. Many of us are now virtual, meaning our home is our office, our restaurant, our movie theater. And in recent studies, it's shown that no longer is it a 9-to-5 work day or even a Monday to Friday work week. Things come up on a given day. And work and life are blended and sometimes are off balance. I thought about some of the highlights of my life and I wanted to share that with you. First, my kids. I can still remember the day when each were born. Fast forward to now, they're teenagers. Time is flying. But nothing makes me more happy to see them become their own. To see them grow up. Sure, there are tons of challenges like all parents face. But at the end of the day, they're great. I married my best friend. I met Kathy when we were 15. We bought our first home at 20, married at 21. Fast forward now, we're still best friends and even coworkers. I became the CEO of SmartAcre in 2019. It was always my goal to lead a company. I knew that's what I was meant to do, meant to create, grow, and lead a company. What I wasn't prepared for, and what I think no one will teach you to how to prepare for this, is winning and losing in business. All the back office mess that you have to do to run a business. You have to hire, you have to retain, you have to fire, you have to repeat, and you have to rinse all the time. Deal with office dynamics. Deal with not even having an office. Even the death of a business partner. Then to have a brother die a month later. Try to lead a company through that. Father, husband, CEO, in that order. I am 42. I live in Pennsylvania. I'm a father of 2 amazing teen boys, David and RJ. A husband of 21 years to my beautiful wife, Kathy. Yep, you just did some math. I married my high school sweetheart. and the CEO of a marketing technology company where I spent the last decade help lead and grow the company from 3 people to 30 people across 5 states, ranked by Inc. 5000 back-to-back years and best places to work. But my dream was always to be an automotive designer. I would sketch cars when I was a kid, and in my teenage years, I would think about futuristic cars. Aerodynamics were always interesting to me. In my high school years, I just thought I would just be messing around with paint and working in a hardware store. My girlfriend, now wife Kathy, at the time said, "You should go check out this design program. You will learn 3D animation and design." So that's what I did. I went to art school and got a business degree in visual communications and specialized technology. I thought for sure I was on my way to Pixar to be that next animation designer. Nope. The dot-com boom hit. I started designing and developing websites while still in school. Companies locally were paying me under the table like $500 here and there to build them sites. That's pretty cool. I learned SEO. I was buying and selling and flipping domain names. I even built my automotive.com brand and sold that too. I got married in 2000 to Kathy. We were young and perfect for each other. But we were completely different. She's introverted, I'm extroverted. She likes to play it safe. I like to go all in. But what makes us perfect is we balance each other out. She's my best friend. Mid-2000s, I moved into project management and then account work. I got to work on some pretty big agencies, on some pretty big brands. I got the taste to travel and lead big accounts, and I liked it. I was learning a lot. My first son was born in 2006, David the third. He was a preemie. He was born 2 weeks early. He was born with syndactyly and craniosynostosis. So you're probably like, what is that? That's what I said. His third and fourth digits were fused together, the skin and the bone, and his frontal skull was also fused together. This kid had surgeries before he was even 2. Today he's in high school and he's doing great. He's smart, he's kind, and would probably kick your butt in any video game. 2008, I worked for a large e-commerce company. I traveled more and I worked on some of the biggest big box brands. That is when I realized bigger isn't better. Son number 2 is on the way and I needed to be back closer to home. RJ was born in 2009. He was late. First one's early, second one's late. He was walking by 9 months, always active. So active, we noticed he couldn't sit still. In a loud room, he would struggle. RJ was diagnosed with ADHD. We battled for years. Should we medicate him? Should we not? We waited until he was 12 before giving him his first dose of medicine. Today, RJ's doing amazing. He's bright, still full of energy, in clubs, theater. Kids are the best. Being closer to family was my goal. 2012, I met 3 guys. I applied for an AE position. My cover letter went something like, "I'm more than an AE, and eventually I want to partner with you." I worked as an AE selling and executing the work, as the 3 of us did. When you're that small, that's what you do. You sell it, you execute it, you do it all. During that first year, I said we needed to expand. We're just another dime a dozen web shop. If we wanted to grow, we needed to add services. I said marketing automation is the future. Ever hear of HubSpot, Pardot, and Marketo? They didn't, but quickly we all knew that this could be our differentiator. A year later, 2013, I made partner. We added a designer and an intern. The next few years, we started to add more team members. Went from 3 employees to 6, 7, 8, honing our skills in marketing automation and all things inbound marketing. We were ready to continue to grow. But sometimes you got to take a step back before you can move forward. And our founder stepped down and chose to retire. I moved into a VP position. My other business partner, Mike, moved into president. I was Mike's right-hand man. We taught each other a lot: how to sell, how to close, what clients were right for us and ones that were not. We even rebranded. We opened our second location in Denver, Colorado in 2017. I think we're now about 20 people. Our goal was to service the West Coast and to continue to scale the marketing technology focus. But 18 months later, we decided replicating what we're doing in PA was not working. I think partly because, number one, we grew too quickly, but I think mainly we just weren't mature enough. We didn't have the right leadership in place yet. We knew the right move was not trying to replicate many franchisees across different time zones, but to shift and be more independent contractors. Find self-managers, find self-starters. It worked. It really worked. 2019, it's rolling. And then September 14th, 6:13 a.m., my phone rings. It's Jeff, my other business partner. Jeff never calls me. I knew right away something was wrong. I think I even said, "Jeff, what's wrong?" Thinking like, did the office catch fire or something? Jeff said, "Mike," our partner, Mike was in a really bad accident. Still groggy, and after being awoken from an early call, I was quite not processing this, and I said, "What's happening? What happened?" Jeff replied he cracked up his Porsche bad. Mike and I both love cars. I own a Porsche. I was with him the day he bought his. Mike was a race car driver on the weekends, and we went on many spirited drives together. It was one of our favorite things to do, to go find a spot, drive in the middle of nowhere, and just sit there and then talk. A week later, after Mike had his accident, he died. I knew from that moment on, I knew things would be different. I'll share more in the coming weeks on how I decided at that point how things would be different and change. Change for the better. See, when you get dealt a 2-7 offsuit, like in poker, you either fold it or you go all in. Well, I went all in. And then a couple weeks later, my brother died. Yeah, you can't make this up. My brother lost his battle with addiction. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some of that detail later for a future episode. But what a time in my life. 2 people have died. I have to be a dad. I have to be a husband. And I got to make sure a company doesn't fall apart. Okay. Big breath here. 2020, pandemic. We all went through that. And I learned a lot in that time period of my life. And I'm going to share a lot more about that and what I've learned in that pandemic and through that time in the coming episodes. So now it's time to change little topics. And this show is not just about business, but everyday real stuff. Again, more about me and the things that I plan to talk about. I'm a passionate car enthusiast. I like to restore, make my cars shiny, and grab attention. If you like cars, check me out on Instagram at DBSpeed. I said I collect anything collectible. I collect sports cards and memorabilia. That's a hobby that stuck with me since I was 6 years old. I can remember trading baseball cards on the elementary recess grounds. And what I mean by trading, I mean ripping the other kids off. I used to read sports book price guides from front to back. To this very day, I can tell you Cal Ripken's rookie card is a 1982 Topps number 21. It's horizontal, and it's pictured with Bo Bonner and Jeff Snyder. How do I know this stuff? The things that you remember. I found that new passion and a new restart of that collecting like most did during the pandemic. See, something like that, and why I share that is it allowed me to escape the day-to-day crap that was going on and shuffling through stacks and stacks of cardboard. It just allowed me to turn everything else off and use a different part of my brain. I also may have made a buck or two during that as well. Father, husband, CEO, in that order. A lot happens in a given day, planned or unplanned. I really look forward to sharing this all with you more in the coming weeks. We plan to have guests on the Agency Balance, guests that can share the things that help them achieve balance. I hope you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit, and please subscribe. And on our next episode, I'll talk more about my journey. Thanks, and have a beautiful day. Subscribe to the podcast at agencybalance.com, Apple, YouTube, or Spotify.